Lagos, Nigeria, 5 a.m. The alarm rang once. Halima was already awake. No snooze, no hesitation. In this house, discipline came before comfort. Her yoga set lay neatly folded beside her bed, placed there the night before by her mother. She slipped into it silently. 30 minutes of yoga followed, spine straight, shoulders back. Every pose held longer than comfort allowed. Her mother believed posture was half of beauty. Afterward came lukewarm lemon water. No breakfast, just cleansing. Upstairs, Mrs. Bello stood by the kitchen island, manicured fingers wrapped around a green smoothie. She studied her daughter without smiling. "Stand properly," she said. "Your shoulders still need work." Halima obeyed. The digital scale waited in the corner. She stepped on it. Mrs. Bello frowned, wrote the number into her planner, and turned away. "Normal carbs today," she said calmly. "Your face is being photographed tomorrow." Halima nodded, smiled. That was the rule. Look perfect. Sound perfect. Never complain. By the time she arrived at Crescent High, Lagos' most prestigious school, she had slipped into her second skin, the charming one. Students parted naturally as she walked past. Class captain, perfect girlfriend, always flawless. No one noticed how carefully she avoided food. No one saw the exhaustion beneath the makeup. In the cafeteria, hunger crept in quietly. She ate more than planned, panic following instantly. She excused herself, locked herself away, and stared at her reflection until control returned. Minutes later, she emerged composed again. Back straight, chin lifted, expression unreadable. "Hampers so beautiful," someone whispered. "I wish I were her," another said. Halima smiled, because no one ever praised the girl beneath the mask. Only the perfection she was trained to wear. The Bello house shimmered with quiet tension. Crystal chandeliers glowed overhead, lighting a dining table arranged with surgical precision. Pounded yam, egusi, jollof rice, fried plantain, peppered goat meat. Every plate aligned, every napkin folded just right. The air smelled of spice and expectation. Halima stood before the mirror, smoothing her lace dress with trembling hands. Sweat gathered at her temples, betraying the calm she wore so carefully. Tonight wasn't just dinner. It was an examination. Her mother appeared behind her in the mirror, silent as always. "The guests will arrive soon," Mrs. Bello said coolly. "Everything is perfect. Make sure you are too." "Yes, mother." When she left, Halima exhaled shakily. Sometimes she wondered if this woman was truly her mother, or simply another role being played, like her father's. She entered the dining room, poised, delicate, rehearsed. Guests filled the room, wealthy, curious, observant. Compliments followed her like rehearsed lines. "My star girl," Mr. Bello said proudly. "So accomplished." Mrs. Adebayo added, "Beauty and brains." Someone laughed. Halima smiled on cue. Then came the question. "If you could choose your own path," Mrs. Daramola asked, leaning forward, "what would you be?" Halima hesitated. "I think I'd like to write stories, something honest." Beneath the table, pressure dug into her thigh, sharp, warning, invisible. Halima's breath caught, but her smile stayed intact. "I mean," she corrected smoothly, "writing is just a side interest. I want to be a great lawyer, like my mother." The pressure vanished. Apple returned. Laughter followed. Halima smiled again. Perfect, obedient, practiced. But somewhere beneath her ribs, something quiet tightened, and slowly, something began to fray. "Halima," sat on the cracked steps of the old library, knees pulled close to her chest, as the evening breeze toyed with the edge of her scarf. Every few minutes, she checked her phone. Nothing. No messages. No missed calls. Just silence that grew louder with time. This was the fourth time Adam had stood her up. The first time, it was a family emergency. The second, he forgot. The third, his phone died. Each excuse had felt thin, but she swallowed her doubts and forgave him anyway. Tonight, she promised herself, would be different. If he didn't show up, she would finally stop waiting for someone who clearly didn't value her time. Just as she stood to leave, he appeared. Adam walked toward her casually, hands in his pockets, hoodie half zipped, like he wasn't almost an hour late. He looked her over and smirked. "Why do you look so tired? Did you dress in the dark?" "You are late," Halima said carefully. "So?" He shrugged. Something came up. "That's what you always say." "I didn't force you to wait," he replied flatly. "You could have left." Her chest tightened. "I waited because we planned this. And I showed up. What's the problem?" She looked down at her hands. "You could have called or apologized." "You are too sensitive," Adam said, sitting beside her. "You overthink everything. You ruin moments like this." His words cut deeper than she expected. She tried to steady her voice. "You said you were confused about us." He laughed softly. "I didn't mean it like that. You take everything too seriously. It's exhausting. I just want to know where we stand." "Why label it?" he said, finally meeting her eyes. "We are fine." That should be enough. It wasn't. But she still whispered, "I'm sorry." Adam smiled. Later that night, she called him again and again. No answer. As she lay staring at the ceiling, one thought echoed quietly in her chest. If this is love, why does it hurt this much? Lying awake in bed, Halima stared into the dark, her thoughts louder than the room itself. Slowly, she reached into the drawer beside her bed and pulled out the diary she kept hidden beneath folded clothes. She opened it carefully and began to write, "Dear Journal, today I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the girl staring back. Her eyes looked tired, like they'd been carrying weight for far too long. Her lips stayed closed, not from silence, but from holding in too many words she was never allowed to say. She wasn't glowing, she was just there, existing. I can't remember the last time I laughed and meant it. I smile often because Mom likes it. She says it makes me look presentable. She uses that word a lot. Presentable. Like I'm something meant to be arranged and displayed. I wonder if she would still smile if she knew how loud my tears sound at night. This morning, I avoided eating again. Not because I wasn't hungry, but because Mom had looked disappointed yesterday. I'm always caught between being too much and not enough. When I feel weak at school, they call it stress. No one ever asks why. Adam says I'm too sensitive, that I take things personally. But how do I not? When he leaves me waiting for almost an hour, shows up without apology and tells me I look rough. Not I missed you. Not I'm sorry. Just rough. Still, I smiled. I fixed my scarf. I asked about his day. He barely listened. When I said I felt neglected, he told me I make everything about myself. So I apologized for also feeling hurt. I called him later, again and again. No answer. Mom says I should be grateful someone like him even wants me. I wanted to ask her what girls like me are meant to accept. Journal, I don't know what love is, but if it feels like shrinking, like begging to be seen, then maybe this isn't love at all. And if it is, why does it hurt this much? Backstage lights hummed softly, reflecting off mirrors lined with glowing bulbs. Noodles adjusted makeup, stretched their limbs, whispered to one another. Powder and perfume hung thick in the air. Halima stood apart. One hand rested on her hip, the other holding her heels. Her makeup was clean and subtle, her skin glowing under the lights. This place was familiar. She had done this many times before. It was pressure. 5 minutes to curtain, a voice called out. The door opened. Mrs. Bello entered with effortless grace. Conversations lowered. Many mistook her for Halima's manager. Some called her a role model. She approached Halima with open arms. To anyone watching, it looked warm. Halima stayed still. Her mother pulled her into a tight embrace, then leaned close. "Eyes wrong step," she whispered calmly, "and I remind you why you owe me everything." She stepped back smiling, adjusted Halima's necklace for show, then walked away. Her perfume lingered like a warning. Halima inhaled once. She slipped on her heels, straightened her back. When her name was called, she stepped forward, not for the crowd, not for the judges, not for the brand, for herself. The runway stretched ahead. Cameras flashed. Applause rose. But her thoughts drifted. Her mother's voice from last night. "Do you want to look heavy on stage?" Adam's message. "You always performing." Early mornings, practicing alone before dawn. She walked. She turned. She held her posture. Under the lights, Halima smiled, not the perfect one she was taught, but something real. Grief. She wasn't chasing perfection. She was carrying expectation. And beneath the applause, one quiet thought followed her. If they love what they see, why does it feel like I'm slowly disappearing? The stage lights were gone. The applause, the smiles. All of it faded behind Halima. Her heels echoed softly as she walked down the tiled corridor alone. Another flawless show. Another perfect walk. She should have felt proud. She didn't. The dressing room mirror stared back at her, rows of glowing bulbs, framing reflection she barely recognized. She sat, removed her earrings, unclipped her wig, and let the image fall apart. Makeup couldn't hide the heaviness in her eyes. Her mother hadn't waited. Just a brief, "well done" near the exits, then gone. Just business. Her phone buzzed. A message from Adam. "Heard the show was fire. You actually looked pretty decent." She read it twice. No pride, no care, just decent. And still, a small part of her felt relief. She hated that feeling. Hated needing crumbs. The door opened. 2 younger models rushed in, laughing about the after party. Halima smiled politely, excused herself, and slipped into the bathroom. She locked the door, sat down, and pulled out her journal. Sometimes I feel like people only see the version of me they need. The beautiful one. The strong one. Never the tired one. Never the real one. The words blurred. She closed the journal gently, holding it like the only place her truth still lived. Halima sat still, breathing slowly. She typed, "I'm not okay," because she had learned one thing. Honesty rarely kept you loved, but pretending always kept you needed. And for now, That was enough. Halima didn't hear her name the first time, or the second. By the third call, something inside her had already gone quiet. She sat on the edge of her bed, shoulders hunched, fingers stained with paint. Charcoal marked her arms like fading battle lines. The air in the room was thick, with turpentine and unspoken thought. A canvas leaned against the wall, a faceless girl, arms stretched wide, mouth open, in a scream no one could hear. Her journal lay open beside her, pages filled with uneven words written in haste. Her breathing was shallow, her eyes hollow, Halima. Her steps followed. The door burst open and slammed against the wall. Her mother stood there, anger cutting through the room. So now you can't hear. I've been calling you. Halima looked up slowly. No defiance, just absence. Her mother scanned the room. Paint brushes, unfinished sketches, untouched food. This again? She said coldly. This nonsense is what's ruining you. Mama, please, Halima whispered. Her mother grabbed the journal, flipping through it. No, please, too late. Feelings visible. Like nothing I do is ever enough. She scoffed and dropped the book. You want to shame me with this? She called for the maid. Take everything. Burn it. Halima rushed forward. A sharp slap stopped her. The room spun. She caught herself against the wall, shaking. I built you, her mother said, and I can tear this down. A canvas was smashed. Pages scattered. When the door finally slammed shut, silence filled the room. Halima sank to her knees, hands pressed to the floor. A sob escaped her, not just pain, but grief, because something inside her had finally broken. The house was silent. Halima stood alone in the corridor, absorbing the stillness. Her mother was away. Her father was absent, as always. The large house, polished and cold, felt different without their presence. For the first time, it didn't feel washed. She wandered without direction until she stopped in front of one door. Her mother's room. It had always been forbidden. Even the maids avoided it. Halima hesitated, heart pounding, then turned the handle. It wasn't locked. Inside, everything was precise. Too precise. Perfume bottles aligned. Curtains drawn just enough. Mirrors spotless. The room felt staged, not lived in. Her eyes drifted to a low drawer near the window, one her mother never allowed her near. She opened it. Inside were old documents, folded letters, a rosary, a silk scarf, and photographs. Many of them. She lifted one. A woman stared back at her, beautiful, soft, familiar. Her smile carried a warmth Halima had never known. In her arms, a baby, wrapped in pink, wide, a small mole above the left brow. Halima's breath caught. Her fingers shook as she opened her phone and pulled up a childhood photo she'd kept hidden. Same eyes, same nose, same mole. Her knees buckled. She sank to the floor. At the top of the photo were faint words. R.I.P. Zainab and Awal. Zainab. The name her mother once silenced in anger. Zainab was her mother's elder sister, and the baby she held was Halima. The truth settled quietly. The distance, the punishment, the absence of love. It was never discipline. It was blood. A tear slid down her cheek as understanding took shape. The second round was minutes away. Halima sat before the mirror, skin flawless under white lights, lashes curled, lips calm. A stylist smoothed her outfit, tugging gently at the fabric. Her stomach growled. A tray rolled past croissants, grapes, apple juice. She turned away. Then the smell hit her. Warm. You ruin everything. Her mother's voice echoed in her head. But something inside her shifted. She's not even my mother. Halima lifted her hand. Please, she said softly. The usher paused. She broke off a piece of croissant and ate. Have you lost your mind? Mrs. Bellow's voice split the room. She stormed forward and snatched the food from Halima's hand. You want to go on stage bloated? You're on a strict diet. Do you forget what's at stake? Halima stood. I'm hungry. That's what's at stake. What's at stake is my reputation. Mrs. Bellow snapped. I raised you better than this. Raised me, Halima said quietly, or trained me? The room went still. I'm tired. Halima continued, voice steady, of watching my weight, my words, my emotions, my life. You'd be nothing without me, without me. Mrs. Bello said, I gave you everything. You gave me a script, Halima replied. Not a life. You are ungrateful. Just like her. My mother, Halima asked. Silence. You lied to me my whole life. That woman gave birth to a mistake. Mrs. Bello hissed. I made you worth looking at. Her hand lifted. Halima caught it mid-air. Don't, she whispered. She stepped back. You broke me, but I'm rebuilding myself. Without you. She turned and walked away. No stage. No cameras. She was done performing that night. The room was quiet. Makeup lights off. Costumes still on the floor where she dropped them. Only her phone glowed in the darkness. Halima sat on the edge of the bed, knees pulled close. She had called Adam 5 times. No answer. Not even a promise to call back. She wiped the last trace of glitter from her face and stared at the wall. The ache in her chest wasn't just from the fight. It was the realization that the boy she called her peace was another chain. At 12:43 a.m., her phone lit up. You keep calling me like I owe you something. Not everything is about you. Her breath paused. No concern. No pride. Just distance. This time, she didn't cry. Her hands didn't shake. Something inside her went still. It wasn't sadness. It was clarity. She stood before the mirror. Bare face, tearful eyes, but honest. For the first time, she didn't see a broken girl. She saw someone done pretending. The next day at school, whispers followed her name, but none of it touched her. She walked in with no makeup, no performance smile, just herself. Then she saw Adam, laughing. Relaxed, unbothered. She walked up to him. I'm breaking up with you. He laughed. Didn't believe her. But she did. You liked me when I was filtered, when I stayed quiet, when I made myself smaller for you. She showed him his message. That was the real you. People watched. Some souls came out. She didn't care. I thought I needed you to feel whole, but I was shrinking to fit your idea of me. She turned away. I'm not afraid to be alone anymore. And as she walked off, Halima felt it. Freedom. Voice over the house was still. The kind of silence that listens. Halima walked into the kitchen barefoot, every step echoing. She had learned how to live around silence, how to avoid it. But not today. Mrs. Bello sat at the counter, arms crossed, eyes sharp. Since your little scene on stage, you've decided you're grown now. Halima poured water, didn't flinch, didn't shrink. You embarrassed me. Mrs. Bello continued. After everything I've done for you. Halima turned, calm. You didn't raise me. You trained me. There's a difference. Anger flashed. I gave you a roof, a name, a future. You were nothing when I found you. The words landed. Halima stepped closer. You reminded me every day that I didn't belong. You fed me control, not love. You dressed me like a project. A doll for your ego. That's enough. Mr. Bello stood in the doorway, watching. Your grandmother tried to reach you. He said, calls. We never pass them on. She wants you to come live with her. Halima's breath caught. She never stopped. He shook his head. Mrs. Bello laughed bitterly. So you run away into some fantasy. Halima faced her. No. I'm walking away from lies. From performing for someone who never saw me. Mr. Bello spoke gently. It's your choice. Stay and start over. Or go somewhere you're wanted without conditions. Halima inhaled. For the first time, the choice was hers. I am leaving. You're throwing everything away, Mrs. Bello said. No, Halima replied. I'm reclaiming it. She walked out. No tears. No hesitation. She didn't look back. Not at the house. Not at the silence. She wasn't running anymore. She was choosing herself. Over the wooden desks, one candle flickered. The scent of Grandma's baking still lingered in the air. Outside, the world was quiet. Inside, Halima felt safe. She sat with her diary open. Journal entry, 15th November. The one who smiled on stage and cried in silence, who obeyed out of fear, who thought being chosen meant being safe. If I could hold her, I'd tell her, you are not hard to love. You are not a burden. You don't have to shrink to belong. I thought love came with rules, with side dresses and tighter smiles. I believed perfection would earn me safety. I was wrong. Real love isn't loud. It doesn't control or silence. It holds you, especially when you fall apart. Living with Grandma feels soft. Her hands, her prayers. She doesn't care about my image. She just wants me, full, rested, safe. She wrote letters every year, prayed for me every night. She never stopped believing I'd come home. I cried for the time I lost, for the silence I mistook for rejection, for the love I was told didn't exist. But now I know I was never abandoned, just hidden from it. I let go of the stories that hurt. They were never mine to carry. Healing is slow. Some days I still flinch. But I breathe easier now. I eat without guilt. I laugh freely. I dream again. And above all, I choose myself. You don't need to be someone's masterpiece to be whole. This journal began in pain. Today, I close it in peace. Not because life is perfect, but because I'm no longer pretending. This is not my ending. This is my becoming.